Hi, Judy.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm so happy to really meet you now. And anything that you wanna ask me, or
I'm a single dad with twins that are
yeah,
6 years old,
that's all I heard.
and
Also,
the issues we've been dealing with lately have been death in the family. Their mother passed away in July, and but they've lived with me since they were 11 months old. So they weren't real close with their mother, but they still have felt the loss of a mother. They don't actually have a mother anymore.
yeah.
Um, Other than that, I've been keeping them busy. We do baseball, we do Cub Scouts, homework, trying to, teach them some chores around the house.
How old are they?
They're 6.
They're six. They twins.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
six. It's still a little childhood where they need mom and dad together. But you are together, mom and dad.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's not here. But the last year that she was here, we were co-parenting very well.
Mhm.
So what I mean by that is every holiday I would bring them over there, Mother's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving. So I tried to make the effort to co-parent and have
Yeah.
us both for the holidays, and it worked great the last year. But unfortunately, she got sick and took a turn for the worse, and she's not with us anymore. So
And how the twins progress this feeling, how they uh, not this progress, most likely how digest everything, what is changed in
well,
their life now.
um, so it hasn't been too rough of a road, fortunately. But every once in a while, before bedtime, because I put pictures on both sides of their beds.
Oh, that's great. That's what I wanted to ask. Do you have any not holographic but picture any?
Yeah, yeah, I put pictures of. So the last good memory they have of their mother was she got to attend their graduation for kindergarten, and
Mm.
so that day we took a lot of pictures. So I have those pictures hanging up on both sides of the room, one on one side of the bed for Jackson and one on the other side of the bed for Bennett. So every once in a while, they will kind of get a little teary eyed and say that they miss mama or they miss their mother. But at the same time, they don't do that during the day too often. It's only when they go to bed. And I suspect that every once in a while they're doing it just so they can stay up a little bit longer, or that I sit in bed with them and kind of hang out. I think they're craving attention from me by using that. And so that is a signal to me to say, okay, they want me to hang out with them a little bit more before they go to sleep.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think maybe they need some kind of privacy with the mom.
Yeah.
So when they are you are not there,
Mm.
uh, I don't know, they do it, but they going to.
Yeah.
They will talk to mom, so they will have any kind of discussion or any like a real conversation.
Yeah. I encourage them to talk to their mother when they go to sleep. Talk to her. She's there around you. Her spirit's around. So
Yes,
feel free to do that. And they do. They do a little prayer or whatever, and they're fine. So it's just a hiccup every once in a while. It
yes,
hasn't been a real big issue with them. Their behavior is great at school. I mean, they don't have any behavioral problems or any
that's
great.
great. That's great.
So they're on track. I mean, they work hard. They really love baseball,
Oh,
and
that's they both they both play.
yeah, they're on the same team. This is their
Oh,
first year to play baseball, so they really enjoy that, and they enjoy Cub Scouts. They enjoy anything that has to do with other kids. I mean, our street is full of kids, and Halloween is a huge thing over in this neighborhood.
yeah.
Um, And it's when I say huge, it's a production. Like people create haunted houses in this neighborhood. I mean, we're throwing a party. My company put on an event for Halloween for the neighborhood, and so it's a big thing. So they're really looking forward to that. As long as I keep them occupied, their minds occupied with something, and it's hard being a single dad and entertaining them 24 hours a day. So
Absolutely, it's a very hard job, but something you are doing great if they are great in the school. They play, they enjoy baseball. So every enjoyment what goes with this age, they are there.
yeah, I think my faults are impatience. Sometimes I get impatient with them, and our schedules are so tight sometimes that if any little hiccup happens, it throws everything completely off.
But don't feel bad about patience, because not just because you are an only parent, so no one you can share everything. But I think if you talk with other parents, mother and father together, they raise their children, their patience also are limited. So it's part of the parenthood, and it's parents the childhood also, and this is also a good learning experience for the kids. Not everything is like a cake with a whipped cream and a cherry on the top.
Yeah, sure.
It's they learn, and they learn this way their limitation. They how they can use you, because kids always use parents.
Yeah.
What is the limit? What is that really can keep the balance between
Sure.
you and them? And the twins are very interesting. I have twins grandchildren. They are 10 years old now. So I am not a parent, a grandparent. So I am a much better position in their life. But I still, I see it's not easy, but double fun. For the parents, it's double fun, double work and double fun.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, the dynamic of twins, learning that they're not the same. They're completely different people. Although they look the same, they have different likes, and they're opposite likes. It's funny. One likes the color blue, one likes the color red.
Mhm.
One likes short hair combed to the side, another one likes spiky hair. And so I don't know if they do that to try to be their own person, but this year and last year, well, beginning last year, the school asked me if I wanted to separate them, because in pre-K and pre-kindergarten, they were together.
Yeah, and kindergarten, they separate.
Separated, yeah. And so now they're separated in first grade. They'll be separated for the rest of their school career.
Yeah.
But I think that was a wise move, because now they have their own separate social circles.
Mm-hmm.
Before, there's always one dominant twin. And so the dominant twin would have all the friends around, and then the non-dominant twin would kind of be left out. But now they have separate social circles where they can thrive in each.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a big change since then too, since we separated them out in kindergarten.
Yeah, that's very good, and it's in New York also. But I think it's not just in New York. After pre-K in kindergarten, they separate them. First, like my grandchildren, they get to the kindergarten and they separate them to different classes. They were very upset. First day they came home and they said, "You know what, Mom? I think about we have to make a big hole on the wall." And I can see Alex all day, or I can see when I want to see. But just you said they have their own world now. They have their own friends, and like you said, it's most of the twins has a dominant, and one is always almost have to follow what the
Yeah.
other one tells them, and
Yeah.
it's become more imbalanced if they are not separated. But
Yeah.
when they are separated, it's a more balanced.
Yeah, and they're doing great. I'm proud of them. They, they're doing great. They're 6 years old, so they're a little young for all the activities that we do. It's kind of funny that they're the youngest kids in their class because they're 6. Most kids are 7.
Mhm.
I think they'll graduate early. I think they graduate when they're 17. But even in baseball, they're the littlest kids in the baseball team. They play a 7 and 8 category. They're in a 7 and 8
Oh,
category for baseball. So these little 6-year-old guys get up there and they're trying their heart out, but everybody is super tall, bigger than they are. And it's kind of funny to see them out there, but they go out there and give it their all. So that's all I ask of them is,
I
I don't
think you did the best. You took them to baseball game and to put them in the group.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, well, it started off, I was taking them to real baseball games when the Houston Astros would play, and I took them to the World Series when the World Series was here. So they enjoyed that, and they got to meet the players and everything. And so I think that kind of kicked it off for them, saying that they wanted to play baseball too. That's what they wanted to do when they got bigger. So I said, okay.
and
Well,
that's kind of motivation, probably, because they saw how the big ones doing. What can be their goal?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what is, and also probably goes with your profession. What is your inspiration when you come up with what character or how you motivate yourself to come up any kind of character, or I saw same thing with animals, or it's your inspiration, or is coming from outside?
Inspiration for what? Again, I could.
Inspiration. What's your inspiration to come up with one figure, one character in your hologram?
And the holograms. Oh, what's the
Yeah,
inspiration?
that's why, because after that I will ask about how it goes with
Oh,
kids.
so the hologram. So that all started. Let's see. My background is an entertainer. I was an entertainer for the last since I was 7 years old. I was a magician. I still am a magician.
Yeah.
And I got together with some other magicians about 15 years ago, and we started putting holograms together. And then they created a business, and I traveled with them building these holograms, and I enjoyed it. And then I was still doing magic at the same time, and then I kind of broke off from them and started doing my own thing. But I didn't want to step on their toes with their business, so I had to create something that was different. And so my inspiration came when my grandmother was reading the night before Christmas to my kids. I guess they must have been a year old, I think, maybe. And she read the night before Christmas, and she passed away the next year. So she didn't get to read it. No, 2 years after. Oh, might have been the next year or the year after, but she didn't get to read it to him again. And I thought, well, how could we, how could I fix that problem for other people? And I said, you know what? I know how to build holograms. I know how to create people in holograms. Let me try this. So I asked a lady in my neighborhood if she would help me be the spokesperson and stand there while we did the filming and everything and just read the book. And she did. So some of those holograms that you see of the lady reading the night before Christmas was actually her. So the inspiration came from my grandmother dying and reading the same book. And then we created